Press room. Andrew Hines, Pro Stock motorcycle winner, 32nd win of the career, but first of the season. And if I had to guess, I would say probably most satisfying win of your career.
Definitely the most satisfying win. You know, everything that transpired over last winter, with having to rebuild a whole new power plant, debut in Gainesville 3 months after we got the rules. Just to be able to qualify that race was phenomenal, and we've just been plugging away all year long ever since. And we still didn't have the best motorcycle today. We had a very consistent one running 93, 93, 96, 96. And to watch my team and how good they are at working and communicating without communicating. You know, before the final we changed the motor just for the heck of it, threw a cold one in there for the final in case Hector had something good for us. You know, 5 of us swapped that motor in 25 minutes, and there was no yelling, screaming, really any talking. Everybody was just in sync with one another and trying to do what they could to make sure we had a perfect Harley-Davidson for the final round. And, you know, it's bittersweet because I didn't make the countdown, but I told Gary Gerald at the end of the track in Indy that I plan to be a nightmare for the rest of the top 10 throughout the countdown, and if I could get one win in the countdown, that would be sufficient for the year. And luckily, we were able to do that and be that nightmare today by taking out 4 countdown competitors.
4 countdown competitors. You talked about the Indy champ, and then 3 who have stood on the stage as world champion. That's pretty tough competition. You said you changed the motor strictly to put a cold one in?
Yes.
What's the advantage of a cold one?
Sometimes you just can't get them cool enough between rounds. Our motors are air cooled; they're not liquid cooled like pro stock cars, so you can't pump ice water through them. All we can do is throw as many fans on there as we can. And sometimes you know, it might feel cool, but the piston might still be boiling inside. So we just decided that our best case scenario was to put a new one in it. It looked like the other one may have been slowing down. Ultimately, it didn't. There was no benefit to it. It ran identical as it did in the semifinals. It just
won the piston cup. Woo!
It was, you know, that was the most fun part of the day, was that thrash that we had, because being a rider and a tuner and a racer and just being able to be part of it, you get kind of wrapped up in what's going on throughout the day, and you know, I could win this race and everything could happen. That was a good way to kind of take a step back while thrashing and getting the motorcycle rebuilt. You know, just kind of get everything out of the mind and, you know, get a chance to relax as you're pushing back up for the final. That was the one time that, you know, it probably really paid off, because I was kind of hyping myself up there after the semifinals. We got back to the trailer, okay, change motors, right back into race mode. So it's a good day.
A number of your competitors have said publicly, when they win a race with the new rules package, I'll be happy to congratulate them because the field is level. How many have done that so far?
I have not seen one yet, but I hope that they're all lined up in the trailer when I get back.
Do you think they will be?
Absolutely not. Keyboards can do wonders for people.
Bobby?
Today you had a good bike, but you had an even greater rider. How gratifying is that for you?
Well, being able to help carry the team is, you know, something I haven't been able to do a whole lot in my career. I've let them down way more times than I've ever helped them out. But, you know, every round today for me was decided on the starting line. And I'm not saying it's because of me. I did win one round on a hole shot against Matt Smith, playing a few games. Hopefully I got in his head a little bit. But the other 3 red lit to me. And that's because they're starting to see the progression of our team and our motorcycles. Maybe it was the red one, I don't know. But they decided to make the tree match my suit. Worked out in my favor. You know, it's an easy day when they do that, but still, I'll take them any way you can get them. It's tough to get these wins. The class is as tight as it ever has been. You know, we're setting records for how tight the fields are from one race to the next, and it's a gratifying win. You know, especially being able to have good lights. Even though people were red lighting against me, I was on the tree. I was 34, 36, 009, and 001. And we sped the bike up for those last 2 rounds, and I was still able to be consistent and just let the bike make the change.
In that final, did you react off of him reacting,
No,
or you were already on your?
I was on the tree. You know, that was only just about a 200s difference. I think he was 24 red. To react off somebody, they probably got to leave 100 ahead of you. And with the V twins nowadays, you can't really hear the other bike in the other lane. You can actually hear the Suzuki easier than you can another V twin because they're kind of blending together. It takes a lot to get pulled off the tree.
Wind from the bottom half of the field is a pretty rare thing in pro stock motorcycle. I mean, number 9 is not number 16, but it is bottom half.
Like everybody said all year long, you can win from the 16 spot. That's how tight motorcycle classes have become this year. It's not just because our performance is off. It's because the entire class has stepped up their game. People have run as good as they have last year, and other people have stepped up to that level. So you never know who's going to win on a Sunday or a Monday, like in Indy. John Hall won from the 15th spot. It's just cookie crumbles in weird ways, and luckily today it was going my way.
Can you comment on what you're able to do kind of to help any championship going forward?
Well, I said I want to be a nightmare, so helping Eddie out is being a nightmare to everybody else in the top 10. And today we took out 4 of them. The semifinal was a big round for us because if Ellie would have beat me, he would have gone around Eddie in points. And we don't want that. We want Eddie obviously get as high as we can since we got one of our V-Rods in the top 10. So if I can be a thorn in the side and play games and learn. First off, I got to learn how to play games at starting line. I've never really done that. So if I can help him out any way I can, that's it's going to be a benefit for the team. So we just got to go out there and try and whoop him.
Are you going to consult with Matt Smith on starting line games?
I was consulting with him on that round. I looked over at him and he was trying to figure out why hasn't Andrew pre-staged or staged. I'm kind of the guy that's the courtesy stager, like a sportsman guy, just kind of pre-stage on, stage. And I sat there with my visor up, which I never do, and looked over at him. And I was thinking, he's usually glancing at me, making sure I'm ready, like watching him on TV or whatnot. And he already had his visor down, was pre-staged. And so I sat there for about 4 or 5 seconds and looked at Carlyle. He's like, come on, let's have a race. So I put my visor down, pushed in, getting ready to pre-stage, and Matt Smith backed out. So I look back over at him, he lifts his visor up and looks at me like, what are we doing? And that's the stuff I've learned. I've studied competitors a lot throughout my career. I know what they like to do. I try to manipulate that in qualifying, make them do things that aren't in their comfort zone. That way, they take them out of rhythm for making a better qualifying pass. That's what I've been working on throughout this year. And people may think that they don't have patterns, but it's pretty easy to spot them. And if you try to take advantage of it, he's a guy that likes to go in last. He went first and he lost an alternate.
What happens next time you race him?
Well, my gas tank was as full as it could be. And I was not staging until either Carlyle backed us out or my bike ran out of gas. So I know he's comfortable going in last, and he's going to go in first again.
Anything else for Matt? Or for Andrew? I always call you Matt.
Maybe.
I've been doing that for years. Congratulations.